this episode, Dude, Brett, and JD drink through some Bardstown Bourbon Company Origin Series and add in a single barrel and a surprise at the end. Find out what we drank and how they ranked them on this episode of The Bourbon Hunters. Have you thought about supporting the podcast? Do you like bourbon gear? Check out our website at www.bourbonhunters.com where you can do both with our latest bourbon shirts and our Bourbon Hunter Kinsey drams. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. I'm Dude Poor. I'm joined by
Red Ryan.
And we've got
JD Fridges.
Yeah, buddy.
Fridges.
And we are Tyler free since
It's the way to be.
2023.
93?
I don't know. That's when I graduated high school, so I hope not. That was probably even before Tyler was born, I bet. It's pretty close.
Possibly.
It's pretty close. So today we've got some Bardstown Bourbon Company. We're going to do an Origin Series episode. So we've got the Origin Series Rye. We've got the Origin Series Bottled and Bond. We've got the Origin Series High Rye Bourbon. And then we've got a single barrel Bardstown Bourbon Company based off of the High Rye Mash Bill. And that's from Captain Cork. So we're going to go through that today.
Captain Cork.
Is that a barrel proof?
It's 110 proof. I think.
Okay, so the regular one's only, I think, like...
I've seen some variable proofs on them. I've seen some at 124. This one's at 110. I've seen some variations on the mash bill, too.
Well, this one's only... The regular Origin Series is only 96 proof, so...
This will be Russell's Reserve proof.
Russell Reserve proof, nice.
I do want to clarify, it's cap in cork, not
Yes.
Captain.
I didn't say Captain,
N.
did I?
For the listeners, they can't read.
Well, I'm just saying, I didn't say Captain.
It's in Indiana.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm clarifying. I did not put
I
a T
know.
in there, correct?
No.
I'm asking, not
No,
telling.
you said Cap and Cork.
You said
Okay.
it correctly.
I
I
was
was
just
letting the
asking.
listeners know.
It's like Cap and Crunch.
I wasn't,
Exactly.
I wasn't implying that I did say it incorrectly. I was asking to make sure that I didn't say it incorrectly. And then we've got a little surprise at the end. We're going to save as a little topper for the end of the evening, also from Bardstown Bourbon Company. But we'll get to that when we get there. So, all right. Let's dive in. I think we should start with the rye, just because the rest of them are bourbons, and the last thing we're doing, or the last two things we're doing, are a little higher in proof.
Do you know how they barreled the rye?
I would assume using like barrels.
Well, yeah, they use barrels. However, you remember the Greater West Virginia Barrel Company toasted cherry infrared stave?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they took oak, and then they did alternate staves all the way around with that cherry, oak, cherry, oak, cherry.
Oh, that's
oak,
cool.
All the way around it.
That probably had to take some
I
time
guess
to
if
like
it's
form
not a
those
bourbon,
barrels like that.
It doesn't have to be all oak, right?
No, so they incorporated every other stave as that cherry infrared toasted
Okay.
barrel stave.
I'm actually kind of excited about this then. That West Virginia wasn't as good as I was hoping as it would be, but it was actually a decent little rye.
Yeah,
It was.
for the price, I was a little disappointed
that's
on
the
it.
thing, and we'll talk about that a little bit today. I think with Bardstown Bourbon Company, I think the biggest knock on for me is they have a lot of LTOs that come out each year. Discovery,
Yes.
Fusion, all those, and I know one of them stopped. Was it Fusion stopped?
Yep, because they came out with the Origin.
And so they came out with the Origin, but like I felt like every year there were 5 or 6 bottles that were LTOs over $100.
Yes.
And so that rubbed me the wrong way. And to be honest, I mean, Brett, you're about the only person who rubs me the right way.
Well,
But I think
tell me more.
I've been practicing.
yeah, I mean he has been. He's getting better. But it's still it's almost like the lotion to sock ratio is off. There's something wrong.
I've got
I don't-
landscaper hands.
Yeah, that might be what it is.
Calluses. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get a pumice stone.
Right. I was going to say there was something rough happening. I didn't know if it was the grip or the... Anyway. So we're going to start with this Origin Series rye. And it's a 6-year-old Bardstown Bourbon Company distillate. So this is... The nice thing about the Origin Series here is this is the first time that they're releasing... between this, the Bottled and Bond, and the High Rye Bourbon, is the first time they're releasing their own distillate by itself, without any additional things mixing it or blending it up to become something different, like a Fusion or a Discovery or whatever. So that's the big thing about this Origin Series that came out this past year in 2023. I know that when these came out, the rye was decently easy to find. The high rye bourbon was decently easy to find. The bottled and bond was the one that was just almost impossible to find. And then the next thing you know, I've got 3 bottles of it. Like, I couldn't find it anywhere. I go to Louder Than Life last year and find a bottle. I'm like, oh, yes, finally. And then I go back to Ohio, and there I get 2 bottles in like 2 weeks. I was like, okay, whatever. So that's just how it always works. So let's pour out some of this rye here. Let me get 3 glasses out. And since you had our primer, Brett, with bourbon, I'd say
that's a good
rinse
call.
that out and keep it with bourbon.
I did rinse it, but I'll set it off to the side.
That's what I'd say. So I'm going to give us a little pour here.
I'm online shopping for whiskey right now.
These Bardstown distillates have been created by the legendary Steve Nally.
Yep. Good call. Good additional
formerly
information.
of Maker's Mark.
Now, when did he leave Maker's?
Oh, back when Wyoming whiskey got started.
And that's been a while, right?
Yes.
Is that when some people thought that Maker's kind of changed a little bit from that point? Was that?
Yeah, the story about him leaving Maker's that I heard on a different podcast was that he was getting ready to retire. A lot of these guys retire and go somewhere else, but he was there. They realized, shit, we don't have any of his recipes written down. So they started taking a Sharpie and watching him and writing down the recipe. They could have gotten something wrong along the way,
right?
Because it was a scramble.
But there's a little bit of an urban legend that it changed a little after he left, right? When the next batches of distillate started maturing and becoming production ready. So let's go ahead and dive into this rye. I want to get the nose on this, and I haven't had this one before. I've had all these others of the Origin series. I don't even own the rye, so I'm glad you brought that, JD. But the Origin series bottled and bond, I will say, as you can see my 2 bottles there, that one's the one that's the bottled and bond is the most empty of mine. I like them all, but the bottled and bond definitely had a nice little. I think it was a perfect proof point for me. But it was also just, I think, a little bit of a better flavor when I had it. But
I feel the same way about it.
We'll see today.
But I do like their high rye, the white label, better than Blanton's, and they're kind of similar in proof.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's. I can definitely get. Yeah, it definitely smells like a rye. I'm not getting any dough on the nose. That's good. No. So that's nice. So you were saying that this one is like the West Virginia. Every other. Stave in the barrels was oak and then the cherry infrared that toasted that West Virginia Stave Company or something like that.
Crater West Virginia Barrel Company.
Barrel Company. All right. Definitely get some rye on the nose.
I don't know what.
I even get a little bit of that rye spice, I feel like, on the nose. Not just the sweetness of the rye, but the spiciness of the rye I'm getting.
You definitely get the spiciness off it.
And it actually gives me a little nose tingle if I go in too deep real fast. Right.
Now, I get a little of like a licorice. Now, you get that at all?
Red
like black licorice,
like black licorice, yeah.
I do not, and I'm glad I don't because I hate black licorice.
Yeah, I don't really care for it either, but I had to really dive my nose down in to get that.
And maybe this is what you're getting. I get a little bit of mint.
Really?
It's almost like a mojito mint type of mint.
Yeah, okay,
like a mint leaf.
Mojito.
That's what I'm getting on the taste. I didn't get anything like you're saying on the nose, but on the taste,
this was all nose. Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah. No, I know. That's why I was specifying.
It's not offensive at all.
Agree.
No, this is reasonable. I'm not a huge rye guy, as everyone knows, and this is something I'm never going to go buy this just because it's a rye.
I would buy this, I think.
But yeah, you enjoy some ryes, and
why not?
I enjoy some ryes, but I generally, and I was saying this, and I might have even said this on an episode. I never sit down and say, you know what, I feel like a rye tonight. That never happens to me. So it's always when I'm in a group like this or on an episode or something when I break out the ryes.
Do you know what rye I do, though, say that about? It was when I'm like, God, I'm on a rye tonight. The Middle West cask.
Yeah.
The cask one. The cask Middle West, yeah.
Pumpernickel.
Yeah.
Well, when we broke out, last time Ruder was here and we broke out that barrel that we milked free.
The blue label.
Yes. That we got from the Arnold that we just milked out all the fucking rye out of that thing. That I could not. Had forgotten. It had been over a year. I'd forgotten how good that really is.
What did he think of it?
He thought it was ridiculous. And he couldn't believe how much we got out of that barrel that he gave us. He just gave us some barrels as background decorations for the Arnold when we do our video streaming at the Arnold. And this was in 2023 in March. And we were moving them around to get them into place, and we felt it sloshing a little bit. And we're like, the hell is this? So Martel was like, I'm bringing a drill tomorrow in a bucket. And I was like, oh, I'll bring some bottles. I've got a couple empty bottles. So I brought an empty Middle West Spirits bottle. He brought a bucket, and we got probably 4 bottles worth of, if not 5 bottles worth of this rye. The only disappointment I had was that it wasn't a bourbon. But it was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. Just kept coming out of the barrel.
And this was supposed to be like an empty barrel.
It was an empty barrel, supposedly.
How long had it been sitting?
We have no idea.
So it's just been like aging in there.
Yeah. And it, like, honestly, you should have a taste of it before you leave. It is ridiculous. It is honestly, it's like a syrupy, thick, like it was like that, what was I just talking about? The
Peerless?
The ghost barrel from Peerless.
Oh, yeah.
Of Jason's. It was like that type of consistency and thickness. It was so good. And it's got some viscosity, obviously, because it was just barrel proof. And I think I did use my hydrometer on it last March. I don't remember. I sent a text out to the group, but I don't remember what it ended up being.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But it was like 128 or something like that. It was decently proved.
Wow.
Or 123 maybe, but it was up there. All right, what do you guys get on the mouthfeel on this, on the mouth experience?
On the finish on this, it's like kind of got that sweet and spicy Sour Patch Kid type feel. You get kind of the sweetness, but then you get the spice that lingers. And it kind of just sits there. And
contrasty,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that last drink I just took, I actually got a little bit of dill. I don't know what it is about rye that gives me a dill.
I get a little dill as well.
Okay,
I do.
Okay, good.
I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to like.
It's not a big dill, but it's
just a little dill.
It's because you're a big dill.
Yeah.
Dough.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm kind of a big dill.
Dough.
Hey, you got a ground beetle.
That's all right. It's probably
He's
dead.
just chilling.
Is he alive?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Nice. Yeah, those things love my basement. I don't know why.
They all like basements.
Yeah. The brown ones are the big. I find those dead all the time, just laying around.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like they came in to have their last enjoyment in some air-conditioned basement. And I don't think my basement's like moist or anything, is it?
It's not.
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty reasonable. But I find...
It's just a basement thing.
That's the reason. Trina doesn't typically enjoy to be down here in the summer because there's always, some bugs.
Some bugs, yeah.
I mean, nothing crazy. It's not like they're just coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
But there's
not like termites
a beetle
and,
here
like,
or a beetle
cockroaches and
there or
shit.
something like that, once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always like those pincher ones, the ones with the pinchers.
Oh, yeah.
The earwigs or whatever they are.
Earwig.
And then there's those brown beetles. Those are the ones that I feel like. So what do you guys think of this? For being their first foray into their own distillate being released, I think this is a pretty reasonable.
Was there an age statement on this?
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years. Did you
And
say that?
I want to say
I did,
the SRP on it was $74.99. It was a little higher than
the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 96 proof, which is the same as the white labeled high rye bourbon.
Yep.
Obviously, the bottled and bond is 100 proof, the black label. But, I mean, still decently expensive. But what I will say out of the Bardstown Bourbon Company is I know all their bottles are identical, minus like the screen printing or whatever that might be done on it. But they're nice bottles. They're easy to handle. They're thin, tall, and rectangular, but they get a little bit wider as they go up. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like an Art Deco type of kind of feel to it, where it gets a little wider as it goes up. And I don't know. That's just my call. But
and they use synthetic corks too, so you can reuse it.
Yeah, you can reuse it, but you can also probably store them on their side if you had to.
Yeah.
But the bottle itself, they're always nice bottles. They have something on the back usually, that's like screen printed or etched or something, which kind of just makes it a little bit nicer. And their labels are simple but elegant.
Yes.
And I love their logo with the bee inside of the barrel. I just think that's a cool logo.
And I like the bottoms of those glasses like that too. That have that like thick.
That thick bottom to them.
Like, it reminds you of like an ashtray or something. As dumb as that
yeah,
sounds.
It does actually.
Like I don't smoke, but I just remember like
you could probably cut that off and turn it into an ashtray.
That's what it reminds me of for some reason.
What I love most about it is the transparency.
Yeah,
everything is.
They're not brown.
Yeah.
It's a clear bottle. Yeah,
Yep.
No, that's cool. And I love the gold wrapping on the top.
I mean, transparency as far as what's in their liquid.
Oh yeah, they tell you
Everything
the
is
percentage
on the
of
label.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I do like that too. And that's something that a lot more distilleries are embracing is that transparency. There are still some that don't, like, obviously Buffalo Trace doesn't. I don't think Heaven Hill really gives their mash bill too much. I mean, they might, but like, they might tell you the age statements and things like that. And I'm trying to remember who else doesn't really give you much of their. Does Barton tell you what their mash bill is?
I don't think I've ever heard what Barton's is.
Yeah, I don't know that I have either. But I know there's people that guess and do some, whatever. But yeah, so the transparency is welcome, especially this day and age. There was a mystique about not knowing what it was before, but I think a lot of people nowadays just kind of want to know.
You're not going to be able to mimic it or do your own.
Yeah, but the yeast strain makes a huge difference.
Yes.
So I mean, it doesn't really matter. The yeast strain is so important to the overall flavor. It's almost like that dirty little secret, although it's not dirty, but it's almost that little secret in the industry that everyone in the industry knows. People who are, maybe aficionados know. But outside of that, those first two levels, a lot of people don't know how much the yeast strain really plays a part. Like when you go on a tour, they tell you, oh, the barrel is 60% of the flavor. And I'm like, it's not really, though.
They'll share everything but the yeast strain, right?
Well, yeah, but that's the proprietary thing that they keep lock and key. When you're in Maker's Mark, they actually have the yeast strain sitting in a vault. And they have multiple versions of it. Then I think they have another off-site location where they store some of it or something.
That's really cool.
You have to almost, I feel like.
Well, and so the crazy thing about this, and this is why everyone was so trying to find the Pappies that were from Stitzel Weller, because that yeast strain's lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Maker's almost had it.
Now, here's the thing. That yeast strain may not technically be lost, but Diageo has never used it since they purchased that brand. So that yeast strain, what you're buying now, that's being created from Buffalo Trace, is not using. Pappy. It's not using that yeast strain. The mash bill may be the same, but it's not using that yeast strain at all. And so that's why there was a hard push for people to get those last remnants of that Stitzel Weller, distillate, because it's different and it's just not the same anymore. So the rye overall, what do you guys think?
I like it. I do.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at picking out individual flavors. You know what? Actually, I rinsed my glass. I was like, I should smell it.
I think it's good for what it is. I think it's meant to be like a rye daily sipper.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could see that for people that like rye. The more and more I drink it, the more and more dill I'm getting out of it. But it's not offensive dill. Like I said, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
But it's there. It's present, and it's like almost in the background. There's a lot of rye spice. I'm getting that. So it's what you would expect from a rye.
It's an easy drinking rye, though.
Yeah,
it really
is. Well, the 96 proof probably helps with that. But yeah, I agree with that completely. All right, mine's empty. So
mine is empty.
It's Gonzo. Let's go.
I'm shopping online for bourbon.
I think because we're doing. Let's go to the white label next.
That sounds good.
Of the Origin series, because it's the same proof.
Yeah.
And so let's get 4 more glasses out, or 3 more glasses.
So I traded my Weller 12 that I had.
Oh, I mean,
for what?
4.
I was almost out of this bottle, and it's one of my favorites, and so I traded it for a Michter's Barrel Strength Rye.
You should have told me. I have one unopened back here.
What?
Michter's Barrel Strength Rye.
But I traded a Weller 12 for it.
Well, I would have potentially just given it to you. Is my point, and you could have kept the Weller 12.
I feel like it's a better trade.
I'm not saying that you made a bad trade.
Yeah,
I'm saying that you could have not made a trade at all, because mine's going to just sit back there.
I thought you liked it.
I do, but again, as I've mentioned, I don't ever break it out.
Yeah.
I do like Michter's from a rye perspective. They're one of 2 ryes that I can honestly say that I enjoy when I have them.
I know, I was panicking because I'm down to my last pour, and I'm like, I need another one.
I don't love Weller 12 either.
You should have reached out to the group first off.
Because we can always...
Honestly, I think I've got 2 barrel strength toasted barrels back there, and I think I've got 1 open of the barrel strength rye and 1, I think, unopened.
Oh, wow.
I believe.
I should have reached out to the group.
Especially me, knowing that I'm not a rye guy, and I would offload rye. I might have given you that trade, and you could have let me have a Weller 12.
I haven't done it yet. I haven't actually done the physical
you haven't pulled
trade.
the Tell them that you didn't realize it was actually open.
Or say that like your wife opened it last. Like,
Oh, I'm so sorry, man.
The
Never
guy
mind.
won't be offended. It's Lorenzo.
Just tell him that
That's even
dude.
better.
Just tell him dude wants you while they're 12.
that's so funny. I almost said like,
Oh,
what did you ask Lorenzo
that
if he
is
could get you one?
Holy shit! Tell me what you're getting on the nose. I'm glad we started with the rye because this is only going to go up for me. The nose. Holy shit! Come on, Brett. Say it.
I know there's too much pressure on me right now.
Say it, Brett.
Caramel?
I get caramel.
It's caramel, but there's something else there.
You getting marshmallow?
Yeah, maybe.
You're
a-
gonna say
Oh, I know
bubble
what
gum?
it is. I get
It's
it.
bubble gum.
It's
yeah.
bubble gum.
I don't get bubble gum though.
You get it?
If so, here's the thing.
Oh.
I could say gum in the sense of like juicy fruit, but not like traditional like bubble gum flavored.
Yeah,
bubble gum.
I mean, juicy fruit to me is fringe bubble gum.
yeah.
It's not quite like pink in a wrapper
Right.
bubble gum. It's but it like
Bubblicious.
bubble yum or
It's like
bubblicious
Bazooka Joe, whatever
or
bullshit.
or that kind of stuff that the two chews
Big
and it's
League
hard
Chew.
again.
Yeah, exactly.
Two chews and it's back to cement. Like this is like juicy fruit.
Stripe gum.
Yeah, fruit
Stripe,
stripe
yeah,
gum or
something.
juicy fruit.
Band-Aid gum. The Band-Aid
Yes.
tin.
So and I'm not offended by those. Like I don't dislike juicy fruit or you know what I mean, fruit stripe gum or anything.
for sure.
But just like traditional bubble gum. Like,
So
my dentist has like they're like, do you want the bubble
all
gum
I
flavored
get now.
toothpaste or mint? And I'm like,
bubble gum's all
bubble
I'm
gum
getting now.
toothpaste to me is disgusting.
but my
Ew.
dentist always asks, they're like, do you want polish with bubble gum?
No.
And I'm like, fuck
I
no,
want
mint.
the fucking fluoride.
How fucking old am I?
Right.
Right.
You see the gray in my beard? I'm bald. What do
But
you want from
regardless
me?
of how old you are, who wants that?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Old people.
Yeah.
Little kids and old people.
Give me
Yeah.
the mint.
Give me the mint. Give me the mint. Oh, man.
This hits me in weird parts of the tongue.
Oh, man. This is...
That's a really good sip. It's not thick.
No.
It's kind of
It kind of thins out on my
yeah,
tongue
thins
a little.
bit. But the flavor is there.
Ooh, man. Yeah.
What's the proof
All
on this guy?
96.
96.
I wonder if that's why. I mean, I've had, 9,600 proofers that feel more viscous. I'm not complaining about this, by the way. I know it sounds like it.
For the price, this bottle is pretty good.
What was the price on this?
It's like $50.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, while I'm
I would
sitting
take the
here...
Sarah Blanton's for $50.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure. So while we're sitting here, I wanted to just bring up, we are partnering with Manscaped here coming up soon. We've also got 2 more giveaways coming up soon for concerts. We just finished
Very
our
nice.
Sonic Temple. Wanted to give a real quick shout out to Jason Walcott, who actually won our Sonic Temple giveaway.
There you go, Jason. Congratulations.
Yeah, so
Enjoy your time.
yeah, that's going to be a good one. He's got 2 general admission stadium passes, 4 custom-made Sonic Temple Bourbon Hunters podcast shirts, and then
Pretty sweet looking, by the
You-
way.
you like those?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Yeah,
like
those
the
are
big
pretty
like
dope.
moth like thing on it.
yeah. The moth is actually the Sonic Temple logo this year.
But still, you
I
did
like
a
the
great
Bourbon
job, like
Hunters.
yeah,
That's
the Bourbon
dope.
Hunters podcast.
like
on it,
printing
yeah.
it all together and
Yeah, yeah.
blending it and all that.
I tried to, and I changed the color scheme because they were like an orange. I changed it to a purple. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like the purple,
So-
man.
Purple's better. for
on that
sure.
gray. I thought it turned out really good. And then, so the other thing too is they're getting 2 Kinsey drams that say Bourbon Hunters podcast on it. So,
Hey.
so they're going to have a way to enjoy the weekend, a 4-day weekend, by the way, May 16th through the 19th. So Thursday through Sunday, huge lineup.
Oh,
Danny Wimmer Productions set us up with the tickets and sent those to us to give away. And then we did the T-shirts and the Kinsey drams in addition to that. But I think that's going to be pretty cool. We're shipping
Yeah.
those out to him. I think tomorrow, and then so he won that. We've got another promotion coming up here soon for Bourbon and Beyond.
that's
And-
got a killer lineup. Different
and
style.
well, it's different. It's not rock.
Yes.
And then we're actually the week after, Louder Than Life. So we've got tickets
Wow.
for both of those
Nice.
coming up soon, giveaways. So keep an eye out on Instagram and listen to the podcast because we're going to have details on how to win tickets to both Bourbon Beyond and Louder Than Life. We're going to have tickets to give away for both of those. Those will also come with Kinsey Drams and T-shirts for the concert that I'm probably going to mock up for similarly to what I did for Sonic Temple. So if you saw our Instagram post. But then Manscaped. We've got a partnership with Manscaped coming up. It's going to be starting here probably next week. But in the meantime, if you go to manscaped.com and you do order something, why not get 20% off?
Yeah, that's
Use the-
1/5, man. That's a lot.
Oh, yeah. You just did that in your head. I'm not going to say that it moved, but I got a little excited.
But there is
when
a
you did that.
calculator on my phone, but
You didn't pull it out.
No, I didn't.
You didn't pull it out.
Takes
I
care of
never,
everything.
I never do.
Takes care of everything from your
Yeah,
chest.
well,
down
I've
to
been
your
around
ball
on a
thread.
Friday where you did pull it out. Use our promo code at manscaped.com. And our promo code is Bourbon Hunters. All one word.
No spacing.
No spacing. Straight up Bourbon Hunters. Pretty straightforward.
Pretty
Take care,
easy.
take
And
care
you
of
will
all
get
that chest hair down to your ball thread.
20% off. And it's off of all their products. So, like, whatever you do, you can get, any of their ball toner, revitalizer, the lawnmower, any of that stuff.
They got like a nose hair trimmer, I think, too.
Yep.
Like I could use that
They've
shit.
got a thing that's like a multi-purpose
Yeah.
that does all of it, and you just change the attachment on it. One's like a body trimmer, and one's like a beard trimmer, and then another one's like a nose trimmer and stuff like that. We're getting our stuff this week.
Because if you're like Dude and I, the hair grows everywhere but on top of your head.
Well, hold on. Don't lump me in with your bald ass because I shave my head every other day.
Dude says his is a
I see
choice.
a receding hairline a little bit on the sides.
I do not have a receding hairline. I have the exact same hairline I had when I was 18 years old, and I've got picture proof to prove it. So, same hairline I had. My dad had this hairline. My brother has this hairline. All of my cousins have this exact same hairline. It's not receding. It's just, it's just my hairline. And it sucked growing up because when I was younger, I couldn't really do the stuff everyone else was doing with their hair
Yeah.
because I had the same hairline. It sucked.
What were they doing back then?
So the big thing, what I could do,
Flock of seagulls?
I could do flat top. I could do that.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, nice.
So that was fine. And I could do the spiky Tom Cruise.
Jerry Maguire?
No, Top Gun.
Oh.
Spiky
Oh, yeah, yeah.
parted
Oh,
look.
yeah.
So I could do that, and I did that. That was all of my high school career was that look. And then in college, the big thing was like the parted flop do.
Yes.
Where it was shaved up the sides, and then you grew the top long and flopped it over top of the shaved
It was like the
area.
McDonald's golden arches.
Yeah,
is what I
kind
always
of.
remember.
So I could do that, but it didn't look as great because of the hairline.
That was very 90s. Like
The hairline
yeah.
arched back, yeah. But what I could do is I could slick it back. Who was the old coach of the Lakers?
Doc
Riley,
Rivers?
Pat Riley,
Pat Riley.
right?
Okay.
So I could pull it back like Pat Riley, but I had a hairline that was obviously like, well, okay. But so that was kind of cool. It was the prelude to the man bun. You didn't let it grow
Man
long enough to
bun.
where you man bunned it, but it
Yeah.
was shaved on the sides and long on the top, and then you'd slick it back.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing you could do with
It's
it.
like
Would
very-
you sport a Thunderbirds jacket?
Oh, I had like 5 of those. I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest. I never had any of those.
Grease.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was thinking the exact same thing. Travolta.
No, I didn't have one of those. They didn't have shaved sides. That's the difference.
They didn't. Yeah, they would like comb the sides too.
Yeah.
If I grew my hair out, it looked like Bob Dylan.
So real quick again, manscaped.com. If you use the promo code Bourbon Hunters, you'll get 20% off. There will be some, keep an eye out on Instagram. We've got some funny reels that'll be coming out here probably starting next week, maybe the week after. But we need some support with this to show Manscaped that we've got what it takes to be a partner with them and be sponsored by them. So please, if you are a Manscaped customer and you just order stuff from them on the regular anyway, use our promo code.
Yeah, get 20% off.
Right, 20% off. If you're using someone else's promo code, fuck them. Use ours. Bourbon Hunters, promo code, 20% off. And, buy some shit from Manscaped, guys. I can't wait. We're getting our lawnmowers, or what I think they're called lawnmowers,
Yeah,
right?
they are.
We're getting the lawnmowers, and I'm pretty excited about
I am
that.
as well.
I love, because my beard,
Same.
like I trim it, and it's a pain in the ass.
And like not to mention like my armpits, because like I don't shave my armpits, but I trim my armpits.
Yeah, because they get long.
Yeah, and so what happens
I do
is
that
like
once in a while
all
too,
the
especially in the summer.
Yeah, and so some of the clippers that I have now, like they pinch your skin, and that shit hurts so bad.
Or they get tangled while you're trimming.
Yeah,
and it pulls.
And I'm so excited for these to like not pinch your skin.
Yeah.
I've used Nair before.
Oh, that stuff stinks, man.
Only when you're using it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it smells. You can like smell your hair like burning.
It irritates my skin.
Yeah.
I tried to use that on my head one time.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
Yeah.
If you have sensitive skin, Nair's
it burns like hell.
Yeah, it does. All right, so let's get back to this. So, taste-wise,
I didn't realize this was a $50 bottle. You said?
Yeah.
Unreal. Like I'm probably gonna. I don't have one of these right now in my collection.
Yeah.
I'm assuming these are pretty easily available in the
the
shelves.
white label is the easiest to
Yes.
find.
that's
The
what I
black
thought.
label is second,
It's a little
is
harder.
harder.
It's like Johnny Walker. Like you go red label and black label.
But I will say that this is better than I remember.
Yeah,
It's
this
been
is very
open.
good.
It's probably a little more than a third empty.
It's deceiving with like the.
Yeah. But I'd say it might even be half empty, but it's a little more than a third empty. So it's had a chance. I haven't probably opened it in a year.
Well, you're missing out.
I get some earthy notes. I
I've got
get
another
caramel.
full bottle back there, so I might plow through this here soon.
I have a backup. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some earthiness to it. There's a little bit of the bubble gum
myself
was a
a bit.
little more pronounced on the nose.
Yes.
But it was a lot less pronounced on the palate. And the earthy notes, I think, come through. A little bit of a spicy finish, but nothing crazy. The I would say the finish is maybe medium,
It's super crushable.
but it's 96
yeah.
proof, so I don't expect it to be crazy, to begin with. Yeah, this is pretty good. What's May 4th? Is that Saturday? That's when my old pepper from Bourbon
so.
Enthusiast
Okay.
comes. That's when it arrives.
I almost bought one of those.
I was thinking we should taste that. And do an episode with that and
Absolutely.
the decanter and all that stuff.
We could do an episode. Oh, never mind. We're gonna do that. Never mind. I don't want to see that spoiler.
That pepper decanter, I remember tasting
Dude, that decanter's cool as shit. Have you had the juice out of it yet?
Yeah.
I've got one in there.
So when we did try it, Jason was here, and I went like on a journey, and I said that on
Was
the
I here?
nose.
I might have been here,
You were
too.
here too,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you were here.
But I was like, to me, it tastes in noses like I woke up on the weekend. My mom was making apple turnovers. And,
Oh, I remember. Okay.
I'm like, it was very, very nostalgic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. And I just had some the other day, and it was still good.
I should grab one of those.
You
too.
should, and they're not super expensive.
Yeah.
I saw one sitting at Giant Eagle last week. I told you that, I think, right?
You did.
The day that I went, we saw each other at Giant
And
Eagle.
it said
yeah.
like nothing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been like slowing down.
did you see the sign?
I did. I've been slowing down my bourbon hunting with home repairs and shit right now, just trying to be.
Yeah.
But
I haven't been
just,
going nuts either.
I'd just like to be irresponsible here before too long and just buy some shit. So
Well, we're going to go to fucking Louisville here soon for our pick.
That's true.
That's another thing we got coming up. We've got
What's
two
next,
barrel
by the
picks
way?
coming up. The black label. That's
Okay.
yeah. So the next thing we have coming up is two. I told you about our promotions with Danny Wimmer Productions and Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life. Our partnership with Manscaped. We've also got two barrel picks coming up in May. Now, they won't be available in May, but the picks are happening in May. One of them we're going to record live. Not live. We're going to record while we do the pick. That's at Middle West Spirits. We're doing a pumpernickel rye pick with them.
Awesome.
at their new location.
At their new Alum Creek Distillery location.
That is my favorite offering they do.
Yeah, it's good. And then the same week, that's on Tuesday. On Friday, we're doing a pick at Old Forester. We're doing 100 proof pick at Old Forester.
I'm
and
excited.
we're doing that in conjunction with Tartan Fields.
Yep.
They're going to take some of those bottles, have those as an offering. We might even do an evening at Tartan Fields. We haven't decided yet, where we do
that
a
would be
dinner,
fun.
a dinner
I would
and
love that.
tasting, and potentially have the Old Forester rep come and do like a tasting with some other things too.
Golf cart drag races in the parking lot.
That's still trying. We have till that shouldn't be available till October anyway, so we've got some time to figure that out. What we're going to do to launch that, but keep an eye out. We will be offering that to our Ohio-based listeners immediately, and then we'll try to figure out something for our non-Ohio listeners as well.
There's
So-
a member who wants to buy a case already.
Oh yeah, well I mean we've already got.
Well, am I
Just
allowed
from-
to up my
Yes.
Okay.
I've got a spreadsheet of who wants what. and
I'm
I've
up
been
to
keeping track.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as
I've got
been,
2 cases as well, just because I'm going to give some away for gifts.
and that's why I want to up mine because like as I've been talking to people, Like there's some of my physicians at work are like getting into bourbon and other people, and they're like, I told them about it, and they were like mind blown. They're like, I need one of those, and I was like, I'll get you one. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So if I can like up what,
and that'll be the fact that it's coming out around October, November.
it's great. Yeah.
Perfect for like Christmas, like giving out to gifts of friends that are into bourbon, and someone who's like, hey, because inevitably every year I get a question of, hey, what should I buy?
Yeah.
You know what? Give me
Gotcha.
some money and I'll give you this this pick. So I might even take 3 cases.
Are you still
we'll
in
see.
contact with the Ohio Old Forester guy that hooked you up? Now he could be at Tartan Fields for that unveiling.
Well, that's what he was talking about, is if we do it. But I think that's all up to Marcus and
They're familiar with that setup. They had Kavi Zamanian from Rabbit Hole there.
Oh, cool.
So he showed interest of that. The GM of Tartan Field, Stephen, he was interested in that. I just don't know if we're going to pull it together. We'll see. I hope it does. And it would be fun because last time they did it with Rabbit Hole was a full, whatever course meal.
Yeah, it was like a 5-course meal. With
Oh, shit.
with
That's
Rabbit Hole
with
pairings.
the whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
really
so cool.
Yeah.
I would love that.
You know what would be great to finish the evening? A Bananas Foster fucking
dessert.
with an old
The chef
Forester.
could pull that off for
Yeah.
sure.
You know what I mean? Like that would
Yeah.
be
So
amazing.
the dessert for the Rabbit Hole event that he did was a vanilla ice cream with espresso, Rabbit Hole.
Thank you for saying
infused.
that correctly, but go ahead.
Yeah, you didn't say espresso.
I know. Everyone's like, can I get an espresso?
That grinds my gears.
Oh, we
That's
were
why I
just
said
talking
thank
about
you for
that.
saying it correctly.
Yes, we were just talking about
There's
how that
no X
irritates.
in
Yeah,
espresso.
Because I told Tyler, I was like, "You're probably the type of guy that says espresso,"
And he was like, what?
because he spelled etc. ECT instead of ETC.
Oh.
And I'm like, "You're probably the type of guy that says espresso."
So Tyler's playing golf at Tartan Fields tomorrow.
Is he?
Got him a tea time
Nice.
for him and his
Oh,
buddies.
you know what? I didn't get the invite for that.
So
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
going to play. He was like, "Do you think they'd let us do a 5-some?" I was like, "I'll sit this one out. You can have the tea time."
That was nice of you.
I still need to talk to my boss because he's a huge golfer. I need to talk to
Yeah.
him and see if I can get him out.
Come on out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
would you say the Old Forester 100 proof is the Old Forester G spot?
I,
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
think
absolutely.
so. I mean, what
For
is the black horse? Is that right? Black horse? Dark horse.
Dark horse.
What is the dark horse on all of our blinds? Is
The 100, the signature 100.
signature, the orange and
Yeah.
black label? 100 is their spot. I like that, the G spot of
Yeah.
their. Honestly, 100 is their proof. And Jackie Zykin, when she was there, would even say,
She didn't like their barrel strengths,
that,
yeah.
well, it's not that she didn't like it. She was just like, that's just not our sweet
yeah.
spot. She didn't say G spot, but she said sweet spot. She said that's not our sweet spot.
But I will say the 1920 at 115, so
But
it's just a little above.
But that's a little bit of a different
It
offering
is.
from them. That's
yeah,
not their
that's
standard
kind of
offering.
their prohibition.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But it's also like, I probably don't like it any higher than teens for them, I guess
Yeah.
is my point.
Let's get into the nose on this one. What do you guys? This is
I know, I've
this
been
is the
nosing
bottled
the
and
shit out of
bond.
this.
yeah, this nose is great.
This is the bottled and bond. This is 100 proof. Let's see.
Butterscotch.
This one is a
Got some
six,
honey.
This one's 6
Like
years as
vanilla
well,
honey.
and it was distilled in fall of 2017. So I bought this last year, so 2023. So that makes sense. That the math adds up. The mash bill is 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. And the higher malted barley content like that generally gives a nice smoothness. I know you hate that.
It usually,
I heard there's a reason they do that 12% malted barley because they don't have to incorporate
What-
other sugars to break it
it's
down
soft.
through the fermentation.
Well, that's the higher the barley. The whole reason they use malted barley to begin with is to kind of kickstart that fermentation. But the higher, and I think Greg Metz mentioned this on the Old Elk episode we did with him, is that, did you see that name drop? It was almost seamless.
it was. He
It
just had a
was.
birthday, by the way. It was
Yeah.
on my calendar.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but his birthday's on my calendar on my iPhone every
funny.
year. It's just in there. I don't know why.
Happy birthday, Greg.
It
Now,
was like his 60th, too. I was like, oh, happy birthday, Greg Metz.
when one thing that he mentioned though was that they do a little bit of a higher malted barley percentage as well, and it kind of softens it up. It gives it a little bit of an easier, like you talk about the easy drinkers, non-offensive. I think that malted barley a little bit higher. Like there's probably a threshold to it, like too high, but that 10 to 12 to 14% tends to give it like an easy drinking kind of feel to it.
I like this black label way better than the white label.
This this nose is so good. You guys already started drinking it,
I
didn't you?
did.
I was flapping my gums. I didn't get a chance to take a drink. The nose is phenomenal.
Butterscotch.
Yeah, I was just about to say butterscotch. There's definitely a butterscotch.
God, it's like a candy bar.
And yes,
I was going to say chocolate chip cookie.
Oh,
that's
so
good.
like
I like that.
There's
with a little bit of vanilla in it.
Yeah,
the chocolate chip cookie.
I almost said a sugar cookie with chocolate chips in it, but I'm like, they're not going to understand what I mean.
I've never seen a sugar cookie with chocolate.
I haven't either.
I haven't either. But
if you could imagine it,
yeah.
If you could imagine like big chunks of chocolate too.
That Veronica Vaughn.
She is one nice piece of arse.
I know from experience.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Well, you could imagine.
But
He's like, I knew a guy.
No, you don't.
The world misses Chris Farley.
So-
Oh God, that honestly, you know how people talk about they remember where they were when certain things happened. I remember where I was when I found out he died. I was at Aquarium Adventure working a shift when someone came up to me and said, "Did you hear about Chris Farley?" I'm like, "Oh, what?" I was thinking like a movie was coming out. And they're like, "Oh yeah, he died." And I was like, "Yeah, funny."
Right.
They're like, "No, dead serious." I was like, "Fuck, are you kidding me?" I loved Chris Farley.
To me, Chris Farley. So there's actors that I enjoy watching, but like when I watch a Chris Farley movie, he makes me
Tommy
feel
Boy.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
He makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
And I don't get that a lot.
You know, one of my favorite skits of his. There were two from SNL. The one was the Chippendales.
I knew
obviously.
you were going to say that one with Swayze.
So that's the one everyone talks about.
You like the Schmitz gay, don't you?
No, that one's good too. That one's good too. But no, the one that I like, he's not even the main guy in it. They're at a restaurant, and there's a guy. I can't remember who's doing it. It might have been Adam Sandler, and but it's the Pepper Boy, and he's giving pepper to these patrons of the restaurant. And Chris Farley's kind of in the background. He's not even the main character of the skit. And he made the cast break because of
Break
what he did.
character,
Yes.
yeah.
So the whole thing with the Pepper Boy was he was giving the pepper very sexual. He's like, "Would you like the pepper?" And he's like sexually humping almost like air humping with the pepper mill
Cracker thing.
Yeah, the pepper mill cracker. And so this goes on for a couple minutes, and like the skits aren't very long, but this goes on for a couple minutes, and then Chris Farley's just sitting in the background at a table. And he's like, "Hey, Pepper Boy," and you could tell that was not part of the freaking script, and the whole place just busts out, and they're like, you see hands go over their faces, and they like all break character because he just did this and just broke everyone. And then obviously the Down by the River guy,
Yeah.
the motivational speaker.
In a van down by the river, yeah.
So those are obviously the big ones. But then Tommy Boy is one of
Tommy
my
Boy's
all-time
fantastic.
top favorite movies. If it's ever on TV, it's like Shawshank Redemption on the comedy side for me.
Yeah.
If it's on TV, I finish it. I don't care where I join in. I watch that movie wherever it starts, wherever I join into it to the end.
I lose it the same point every single time I watch it. And it's when he finally sells the chicken tenders or the wings. And he's in the restaurant.
yeah.
He finally sells
And she's like,
her on
okay.
the wings. And
It's like, okay.
Tommy hungry. Tommy
Tommy,
want wingy.
we want wingy. And he goes, "Hi, Tony Robbins."
Hey, Dad, is that for me?
Oh God.
No, son, that's for me.
That's a great movie, man. All around. You got an edit button on that thing? But that's a great movie. Like, that's such a good movie. And it's it's so simple, like such a simple movie. Mm-hmm. But like, it's like a coming of age. Like, he is the doofus at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. And then by the end of the movie, he's still kind of a doofus, but he's matured and he's like gotten his selling legs, and he's understood like the gravity of this company in this town, and he saves the entire town, basically.
Have you seen 50 First Dates?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
a
that
million
stuff,
times.
too.
A million
Do you
times.
notice a little Easter egg in that? So in 50 First Dates, there's a little Easter egg that the
Something
psychiatry...
Callahan.
Yes, the
Yeah.
psychiatry,
It's
like whatever.
Dan Aykroyd.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he talks about that they're whatever rehab place, and it's like sponsored by Callahan Auto
Right.
Parts.
Yeah. They do that. So they did that on a few different movies.
So I love that little Easter egg drop.
I've always thought if I ever, and I'm never going to get into directing movies or whatever, but if I ever got into directing movies, one thing I just thought would always be cool is you're watching a scene in a movie, and in the background, a scene from another movie's happening.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like
I feel like I've seen that happen before.
yeah, it's happened once in a while, but like I've always like back
Yeah.
in the day thought that would just be the coolest thing ever. Like
Little Easter eggs and shit.
yeah,
like that.
those little Easter eggs, but not just putting like a Callahan whatever, but actually showing a scene happening in the background from
movie.
another
So,
movie.
like Chris Farley doing a movie today, and on the TV in the background, he's doing Fat Guy, Little Coat.
Yeah.
But
God,
not-
fat guy in a little coat.
or the news report, someone in Chicago is happening, and then the news report in the background is that place is being held up, and he's got the bomb strapped to his chest. You know how they did the news report?
Yep.
Like that being on in the background of another movie.
That'd be awesome.
That happened
yeah.
in Chicago. Like that type of thing. So nothing like obvious, but like, something like that happening. I don't know. Anyway, so let's finish off this Bardstown.
This Pound the Palette's fantastic.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's again, I keep getting like that chocolate chip cookie for some reason.
I got a backup for this one, too.
You're not wrong. I've got 3 of these now. Like I said, I found it took me forever to find one.
Me too.
And then I got 3 in like a month.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hunt for this too. I wrote it down.
I think
You don't
this
have
one's
any of
been
these?
sitting, I think, at Kroger.
Has it?
The black,
I believe.
black
I
label?
believe so.
Okay.
It's on shelves. It may not be plentiful, but it's on
Yeah.
shelves now.
I might do a little hunting this weekend.
Use
Just,
the
like,
website.
Drive a couple. Yeah, it's okay sometimes. You know what I mean?
Sometimes.
Well,
It's
for
hit or
stuff
miss.
like this, it's
It's
usually pretty
valid.
accurate. It's the allocated stuff that it's not accurate for.
Yeah.
Once stuff starts becoming on the shelf, it's pretty reliable. OHLQ. And I know like Martell has that complaint about it being worthless, but I don't think it is. When you're looking for something like this, it's
Yeah.
perfectly good. It's allocated stuff, and I don't blame it for not being up to date for allocated stuff because you'd have just lines everywhere, and it's stupid. And I know you get those lines everywhere now,
But it'd be worse.
and I can't stand how OHLQ does their drops now. It's so stupid. Like, it's so simple to fix it. So simple. Mm-hmm. And
I
they
agree.
just, and I feel like they just don't want to.
Ronald's really,
Rankin.
yeah, on the OHLQ site. Oh, no, Martell. Martell's the one who
Yeah.
loves the site.
No, he hates the site.
He hates the
Yeah,
site.
He
I
hates
know.
it. So we've done all 3 of the regular Shelfer Origin series now, right? So we finished those. So let's go now to the
Captain Clark.
What?
cork.
Oh, I thought I said Clark. Sorry, I don't know.
You're the one who semi-corrected me earlier.
She's a Butte Clark.
Yes, maybe that's. I don't know where my brain's going. I'm sorry.
Captain Clark.
I can't fucking read.
Captain Cork.
Maybe I'm getting drunk.
Cork
I
is
don't know.
in,
I need to
bourbon
brag
cork.
Yeah, I
about
know
my
what a cork
niece
is.
really quick. So
Yeah.
Your
I
niece?
got the ultimate
Or your knees.
niece.
Okay.
My sister came over last night. Sorry, Tyler.
Is Tyler like your sister?
His sister's hot, according to Tyler. Remember, he was sending us
I do
pictures
remember
in
that,
real
yeah.
time while he was drinking at his house.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, but she's married, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But-
is he.
Yeah, that's true. That's
It's like
true.
2 negatives. They cancel out.
Jillian, if you need to be consoled, just let me know. I know you listen once in a while. If you need to be consoled,
Are any of those
you have my phone number.
Here.
So
Do you have one to reuse?
I have 4 rinsed out, so you can choose
they,
any which one you
came
want.
over last night. My
That's
nieces
good.
and my sister.
Oh, not that one. Just kidding.
Oh, I thought you were like, oh, okay.
And
Although it does have a little water in the bottom.
as
I
a
know, that's what I was.
greenskeeper at a country club, my niece said when they pulled up, she asked if my grass was fake, and I think that's the ultimate.
That's a compliment. Yeah.
Yes.
So
That is.
I take a lot of
Is
pride
Uncle
in my
Charles
grass
grass
as
Well,
well.
you and Tyler do as well.
But
yeah.
I've been sending JD some pics of my grass. Like, JD, what do you think?
It looks great. It looks really good.
And I'm like, if I get the JD stamp of approval,
Well, you should probably start a consulting business on grass. Like, that's what you should do for for the residential,
Yes.
like residential, and then you come in, just analyze it and give them some, hints or ideas of how they can fix what might be wrong.
I'm fertilizing 3 of my neighbors' yards.
Memorial Weekend, I'm
sounded-
going
that
to
sounded
fertilize
very
again. I
sexual.
know it does, right? Yeah, I'm going to
For
fertilize
real.
again Memorial
I'm
Weekend.
fertilizing 3 of my neighbors.
A lot,
Dude, I have to mow like every 3 days right now, though. Like every 3 to 4 days, I have to mow.
a lot of
That
grass
shit's so
eggs.
thick.
Speaking of mowing,
Thick.
Manscaped, lawnmower,
Trim
I
your
like
bush.
it.
trim
Yeah.
your bush, trim the bush.
This nose is better than the
Ooh,
other one.
yeah.
Better than the other white one or the
Yes,
black one?
the other white one.
Yes.
So
both.
we've got now the Captain Cork or Captain Clark.
Captain Clark.
Captain
Captain Clark,
Clark.
whichever you want to call it.
I like
This
Captain
is
Clark.
almost empty, man.
I know.
I have a
I was
backup.
trying to go really
Okay.
soft on them.
Good.
I have a
That was
backup.
going to be my next question. So far, the theme of these has been 6 years aged. All the Origin Series ones so far. This is a single barrel of the Origin Series.
I know, right?
It's Bardstown Bourbon Company single barrel from Captain Cork. This mash bill is 75, 15, 0, 10. I assume the
zero's
0
for wheat.
is the wheat.
Yes.
So 75 on the corn, 15 on the rye, 10 on the malted barley. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So it's a little bit, if you paid attention earlier, it's a little bit different than the mash bill on the standard high rye Origin Series, which was I think 12%, right?
Yes. Slightly off.
But it's 6 years old. It is their distillate, and this is a single barrel for Captain Cork or Clark.
This is a lot more caramely than the other one.
Well, and now we're up at a, what did we say, a 114 proof?
110.
That's what I said, 110
Russell's
proof.
Reserve single barrel proof fish.
I thought Russell's Reserve was 114.
I thought it was
110.
110. Yeah.
Brett would know.
Yeah, I'm almost very confident it's 110.
I'm almost very confident.
I almost started to say I'm almost positive, and
I'm
then
almost very confident.
60% of
I'm
the
going
time,
to use
all the
that.
time.
I'm going to use that with my wife
I
tonight.
started to say I'm almost positive,
almost
and then I
very
rephrased
confident.
it to I'm very confident.
Yeah, I'm almost very confident we're going to have sex tonight, Trina. Well, you're wrong.
But I'm right.
But I'm almost very confident. Did I say that? Did I mention that I was almost very confident? Yeah, the nose on this is outstanding.
Yeah.
It's more rich.
It is. I mean, that could just be the proof.
True.
But it
But it does, there's no like ethanol with that though either. JD went in already.
I have too. Oh, nice. It's got a good lingering finish. A little bit of a peppery spice finish almost.
Yeah.
And I like that. You know what's funny? And we've talked about our evolution of our palates.
The viscosity's right on
Yeah,
this.
Yeah.
It's right on this.
But I did not, when I first started this journey, I did not like a peppery finish. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, I embrace it. I really enjoy.
I think everyone's palate evolves.
It does. And that's kind of what I was getting at, is that I feel like my palate has evolved since we first started. Now, I mean, I first started with ginger ale and bourbon.
Yeah.
I was drinking Tin Cup with ginger ale, and I was drinking
Tin Cup.
Tin Cup was actually not bad. I mean, I don't know the last time I've had it neat. I should revisit Tin Cup. But
It sounds like a person.
well,
you
there's
almost
that
sound like
golf-
you said Tim Cup.
that golf movie Tin
Yeah,
Cup.
I
That
know,
was a
it's-
good
yeah.
with
Cheech
Kevin
Marin?
Costner
Cheech
and
Marin?
Cheech. Yeah,
Cheech.
that's a great movie. I'll tell you, Kevin Costner has.
I love Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner should be in the Sports Hall of Fame just from his movies.
Yeah.
You
Field
got
of Dreams.
Bull Durham. You've got Field of Dreams. You've got Tin Cup, and then you've got For Love of the Game,
Yep.
where he
Detroit
pitches
Tiger.
where he pitches the perfect game against from the Detroit Tigers. I think the Yankees maybe.
It might be the Yankees, yeah.
And
Everything
it's got
turns
Kelly
into slow motion.
Yeah, Kelly Preston. He's like the machine. Something he says about the machine in the movie. But it's got Kelly Preston's his wife or ex-wife or whatever you want to call it in the movie, and Jenna Malone is his stepdaughter, who is hot as fuck. Which I couldn't have said that 10 years ago because she was underage. But honestly, like, she is very attractive. But yeah, a good movie. That I honestly, it's more of a love story.
Yes.
You know, like akin to Kevin Costner and The Bodyguard.
He finds her on
Oh,
the
The
bridge.
Bodyguard.
He finds her stranded with her car.
Yeah, it's more of a love story, but like like the history of the love story is happening as he is pitching this perfect game.
Billy Chapel.
And he is, Billy Chapel. And he is like on the verge of retirement. He's over his prime. You know, think about like almost like a Nolan.
Nolan Ryan. Yeah.
Nolan Ryan.
Love Nolan Ryan.
Think about, him. He was pitching into his 40s, right?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. John C. Reilly's the catcher.
Yeah,
Is he
John-
really?
Yes.
Oh
He
my
is.
God,
He
that's
is.
hilarious.
But like it's not funny at all. He's
No,
serious.
yeah.
And
used to do
he's like his
serious
best
roles.
friend.
He used
He's
to do
like his best
serious
friend in the movie.
roles. Yeah, he did.
He's his best friend in the movie, I think, if I remember.
But when he talks, he can't help now but to
Now.
associate him with Step Brothers.
right,
Right.
Step Brothers or what's the other one?
The Dewey something.
Well, wasn't he also the guy in Talladega Nights? His
yes.
his partner in crime, like
Yeah,
his
Shake and
Shake and
Bake.
Bake.
Shake and Bake. Yeah. And then what's the rock and roll movie where he's the singer?
That's that one's like Dewey. His name's Dewey in it.
Dewey
Yeah.
Cox?
Something Dewey, child star Dewey Cox.
No,
or am I thinking of a different
You're
one?
thinking of something else. I'm
Okay.
talking about the one. It's almost like who's the guy who Folsom Prison?
Oh, Johnny
Johnny
Cash.
Cash?
It's almost like a Johnny Cash type
Okay.
character. Can't remember his name now.
I don't
I'll
know
have to
that
look
movie
it up.
at all.
I'll have to look it up.
I feel like I kind of know.
You would know it if you saw it. Anyway, so let's carry on. Let's drink this and talk about
This
how
is
good
a
it is.
really good pour.
Agree. This is
Yeah,
probably my favorite pour of the night so far.
So far, I would agree with that as well.
I hate when they go in order though. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's my
but
only complaint.
I kind of
you
set
set
that
it
up
up
on
that
purpose.
way.
You kind of set it up that way. I
Yeah,
know.
because I kind of expected that.
That's why I like blinds.
It's Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
So I
Oh,
said
yeah,
Dewey.
yeah, yeah.
I said Dewey.
I
right?
said Cox.
Yeah.
And then you know what else? You know what else he's in? Speaking of Cox, Boogie Nights.
Oh, that's going
He
back.
did do some serious roles back in the day.
Yeah,
Oh, he was a serious actor for a long time.
for a minute. Yeah, he was for sure.
Heard he's not a very pleasant human being, though.
Oh,
feel
really?
like I've heard that
That's
too.
a shame because that sucks. I hate when people get it in their head that they're like more important
Yeah.
than like just because you're famous. Who gives a shit? You're still a human being.
There was that audio clip of Christian Bale. I don't know what movie set it was, but it was like a stagehand or someone extra. Something happened, and he like ripped their ass and was like, "Do you
Well,
know
but-
who the fuck I am? You're wasting my time."
But here's the
remember
thing.
that.
Here's the thing.
and they went viral.
Yeah, it did.
Here's my thing about that. Okay, there's a difference between while you're on the job
Yeah,
versus when you're out in public. If you're on the job and someone's messing with your livelihood,
it was an accident.
Yeah, it was an accident.
I don't remember what you're talking
Yeah.
about specifically, but my point is if you're like if you're the type of method actor who needs to get into a role and do something and then someone's messing with that somehow, and whether like I can be the best person you'll ever meet, fun, loving.
I haven't seen that yet.
Shut the fuck up.
He was showing me Fun and Loving the other night.
Damn straight I was. And multiple times. Very little recovery time. And but like if you were to mess with my livelihood and be at my job and doing something that would
Yeah, I
keep
get
me
that.
from making my money or keep me from doing my job correctly,
Yeah.
I'd probably get pretty spicy as
Yeah.
well. I don't know what happened with what you're talking about, but a lot of things are taken out of context nowadays, and you catch
Very
someone
true.
you catch someone doing something that's maybe out of character for them, but that becomes like what's the saying that you can build 20 years of good karma or whatever it is, good whatever the phrase I'm trying to think of is, and then you can tear it down in like 2 seconds.
I thought you were going to say a way different one that I've heard that I'm not going to say on the air.
You can,
No, say
because
Say it!
we're so worried about
There's
what
that
we
one
say on the
thing-
air here.
There's that old saying that's like, you can build 20 bridges, right? But you suck one dick and you're known forever as a dick sucker. Or it's like something like that.
That's true. That's
Or it's like you can
100%
build 20
true.
bridges, or it's like you fuck one goat and you're forever known as a goat fucker.
Well, I mean, what do we know Tyler has now?
The bear hunter.
He's
bear
the bear
hunter.
hunter.
So Tyler could build 20 bridges, but he'll still
He'll
be the bear hunter.
fucking bear hunter.
God, that was so funny when he was like, "It is him."
You know,
And you
That
weren't
was
there the
great.
first year.
Yeah.
You were there the time we came back, and the
Yeah.
guy recognized the bear hunter.
I
turned
love,
around, he was
I
like,
love that.
"It
Was that
is
not
him."
the best thing ever?
That really was
he
the best part of the
remembered
trip.
us. That was just that blew my mind. How many people does he see a year?
A lot.
Exactly.
And it had been a year since we had seen him, and he was like, "Oh my god, the bear hunter!"
I've never done that speakeasy experience.
Oh, it was so fun. If you get the chance, because we're not doing it this year,
Yeah.
but if you get the chance, honest to God, it is worth it. It is so good. If they continue to do it, he was talking about how they were maybe discontinuing it,
Yeah,
I
I've
know,
heard
and turning it
about
into
that.
like a
just a
bar.
regular bar.
yeah.
That'd be a
But,
mistake.
It would, because that speakeasy experience was one of my favorite things I've ever done on the Bourbon Trail. Because that guy did not leave his character except for when Josh Parks walked in with Chinese food.
that chicken.
Do I smell chicken? And it like at the time it happened, it fit so well into
Because
his.
his tone didn't change.
No, so we were thinking, oh, is he getting ready to do some bit?
Yeah.
But no, it was Josh Marks walking in with fucking chicken, Chinese chicken of some sort.
Chicken, you got the Chinese
God.
chicken.
Nice.
You know that song?
Yeah.
Chicken Chinese.
Was that Bare Naked Ladies?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Your brain starts ticking.
See?
Watching the next
That was a
Files
very,
with
like-
no lights on.
Yeah. We played that a lot in college.
Oh, everyone did. Yeah, that's good stuff.
The other one was Blues Travelers.
Oh,
I had
Third Eye Blind.
I
Yeah.
could play the harmonica with Blues Track. Like I
Could you
could,
really?
yeah. So
I
I
love that harmonica's like
Oh
classic.
yeah,
yeah,
classic.
but he doesn't play a traditional blues harmonica, which is funny because he's called Blues
Blues
Traveler.
Travelers, yeah.
Aren't
does-
all harmonicas the same?
No,
I don't know.
yes, the harmonicas are the same, but how you play them is not necessarily the same.
Okay.
So most blues harmonica is actually sucking. He did mostly blowing, and I know that sounds sexual, but honestly,
No, I get what you're saying.
there's
The
a
way harmonica
huge
works.
difference. Blues harmonica is more drawing in through the
I
harmonica,
didn't know that.
whereas there are other ones that blow out through the
I think
harmonica.
you use inhale and exhale. Versus suck and blow.
Would we have laughed as much if I did?
I mean, I'm not complaining.
All right, fair enough.
It was great.
Thank you. Thank you, JD.
I thought I was great as well.
Yeah. I was trying to use the actual fucking terminology of the
who
harmonicas,
are
jackass.
Some of the more famous. Neil Young played a harmonica.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Oh, you know who else? Bill Clinton played that harmonica.
Oh my God, I've never heard that. That was great.
Never really?
I've never heard that because he played the saxophone.
Right, that was a joke. It was like, did you know Bill Clinton picked up a new instrument? They're like, what? And it's like, it's the harmonica.
Oh, that's good. I never heard that. There was a lot of blowing in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
The podium.
I never heard that. I am so
You're
upset.
welcome.
Yes, thank you so much.
Not everybody knew they were watching two people give a speech.
Oh my God, what the hell's happening?
Our younger listeners have no idea what's going on with Bill Clinton. And
Who
You
the
just
hell-
couldn't see one
who's
of them.
Bill Clinton? Oh, is that Hillary's husband? Is he famous? They don't even know he was a president. Jesus, what the fuck just happened? We have derailed.
I know, the old harmonica.
No, but I have I used to play the guitar, and I used to have one of those harmonica things that you
Like
would-
attached.
Yeah, they're around your neck and sits on your chest and then curves up to your mouth. But in college, we ran the table every year in flag football, and one of the years my finger broke,
Yeah, extensor tendon got
and
snapped.
I cannot bend that down any further. I can push it, but it won't bend on its own. I can, so that messed up me playing the guitar.
Damn.
And I was very big into blues, guitar, and harmonica, playing, that type of stuff. And I probably could have learned around it, but I never fixed it. I've got a guitar back there. I've still got my harmonicas. Every once in a while, I'll pop them out and play those once in a while. But I've got a sleeve of harmonicas, different notes and
Damn.
stuff. Yeah.
Who's the Sabbath guitar? Tony Iommi? Is that
I have
his
no
name?
idea.
But he has like a metal tip to his finger, but he can use it as a slide.
Oh, that's cool.
Because he's kind of
Yeah, that's
turned
kind
it
of
into his own.
Well, who was it?
Tony Iommi, I think that's his name.
No, but who was it? Hendrix that played the guitar upside down?
Yep,
think so, yeah.
Backwards.
He played instead of using a left-handed guitar, he used a right-handed guitar upside down,
Yep.
or something like that, if I remember correctly. But that's just crazy. He was one of the best guitarists ever.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
But yeah, Bob Dylan played a lot of harmonica. Anyway, so we are now on the not surprise, but kind of bonus entry for the evening. We are doing Discovery Series number 11.
I'm hoping this is as good as I remember. I have one in my cart online right now.
I know. I asked Lily for
You're
a
waiting.
refill.
You're waiting.
Yeah.
So this is the white label with the purple stripe at the bottom, Discovery Series number 11. JD, if you'll do the honors of talking about what's in this one. It's on the label, right?
Oh, it is on the label. I think, yeah, when we were at the experience, I said, it's wild turkey.
Is that when you got this?
No, I just picked this
okay.
one up at Party Source.
Okay.
73% Kentucky 13 year. And that's a 75, 13, and 12. That is wild turkey.
Most likely.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Oh, yeah.
21%.
From the eye roll of, what was her name?
Lily.
Lily, yeah.
Yeah. She was like, well, we're not going to tell you who it is. And I'm like, I think it's wild turkey.
I'm not going to tell you what airline I was on, but I'll tell you that it was an American airline.
Yeah, right. And then the next one is a 21% 10 year. And that one is a 70.
Did you guys ever listen to Richard Jenny? the comedian?
I didn't.
He was hilarious. He was the
don't
one who
think
would do
so.
that. He's like, I'm not gonna say the name of the restaurant, but it rhymes with Fred Robster, or it rhymed with Continental. Like what airline?
Yeah.
He was hilarious.
78, 13, and 9, and that one is confirmed Jim Beam because she told us it rhymes with Slim Jeans.
She did Slim
Slim
Jeans. I forgot
She did
about
say
that.
Yeah.
And then I turned around and said, so you could call the first one Mild Jerky. So then 6%.
Turkey. Jesus.
We were pretty toasted by then.
We were
We
because
were.
we just left.
Toasted is
Mark
an understatement.
Carter.
Yes, the fucking.
We got so drunk
at Old Carter. That's
at Old
an insane
Carter,
experience.
and then we went straight over to the
And
Bardstown
then you
Bourbon.
parked in one try.
Oh yeah, I'm a fucking parking wizard.
You did crush
I am
that
a parking wizard, and I flipped off a guy as I was parking because he didn't think I was going to be able to fit in that spot, so he was honking at me. I got it in one try and was flipping
He
him off.
said
as
it.
he
You're
drove by.
never gonna fit there.
Right, yeah, and I fit in there. Fuck that guy.
He's like, Trina knows something better.
Oh,
Yeah.
Trina knows I can fit in there. I grew up driving a Buick LeSabre 1978 four-door. The thing was as
Nice.
big as a fucking yacht. And I had to park on Chittenden
Oh, God.
on campus at Ohio State.
Chittenden.
I was always fitting into spots that I shouldn't have fit into. There might have been some bumping, some bumper bumping. Let's finish this one. Let's get this going.
6%, 6-year Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Pour it out.
60,
Pour it out.
68, 20, and 12.
Pour it out. Let's go.
Pull it up.
Pour it
Ooh,
out.
Good pop.
Pour it out, Chris.
I'm about to.
Pour it out, Chris.
That's what I was born to do.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
I found a promo code for
Manscaped, Bourbon Hunters.
20%.
that and like Sip Whiskey or Seal Box, one of the two. For
Hey.
free shipping.
Speaking of promo codes, Bourbon Hunters at manscaped.com will get you
20%
20% off.
My promo code's not 20% off, I can tell you that.
If you
Well-
spend 100, you're getting $20.
True story. Or 1/5.
Jesus. What the hell's happening? All right, so let's nose this thing. This smells damn
This
good.
stuff smells great.
I will say that their blending game or their mixing
on
game
point.
it's always been. They
Oh,
know
yeah.
how to take stuff that by itself isn't necessarily great, like Dickel, for example. And you had a question about Dickel
I
that you
did.
never did bring up tonight.
I know.
So
I know.
Discovery 5 had a larger amount of Dickel, and that one's the most least liked. Of the
Yeah,
Discovery.
but still it was okay.
still good.
It was better than Dickel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, I keep hearing at work a lot of people are talking about Dickel 15.
Yep.
And even one of my friends was like, "Hey," because I know I'm not gonna lie, I gloat a little bit, and I'm like, I was at Jason C's house from the Massa Drum, like doing a podcast, right? Like it's pretty fucking cool. And so he was like, "Hey, your buddy Jason just did a review on that Dickel 15, which I haven't heard it yet.
I haven't watched it yet either.
But apparently he's saying good things.
Oh.
And a lot of people at work have been talking about this Dickel 15-year single barrel, and it's $60. And so I think I'm going to just grab one because
Sure.
it's $60 and it's a 15-year.
So let me say this. A couple of things about Dickel. Traditional proof Dickel tastes like medicine. Traditional.
Like very
Flintstone
medicinal.
vitamins.
Under 100 proof. When you get into the 1-teens and a little bit higher with Dickel,
It goes away.
that medicinal flavor goes away. When you get up in the age of, above 10 years, like in the teens, that medicinal flavor goes away. When you add the two together, if it's a barrel proof single barrel that's 15 years, it's probably pretty good.
That
Okay.
7-year, though, I get Flintstone vitamin and minerality.
Yeah, the younger stuff that's at the lower
You said
proofs.
17, though?
What,
Seven.
7?
Oh, I thought you said 17.
No,
I'm
Dickel
sorry.
You said
7.
7-year, yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah, so the younger Dickel stuff just generally has that minerality, that Flintstone vitamin, that medicinal flavor that a lot of people talk about. That comes a lot of times with that Dickel low end, low proof, or low year, low proof bourbons or whiskeys. But the higher proofs and the higher years, generally that tends to fall off. And I've had a lot of things that were, I'm pretty sure a Blue Note I had was like a 17-year Blue Note that I think was Dickel. I could be wrong. It was outstanding. And there's a couple.
source from Dickel.
Yeah, and then, but Bourbon Enthusiast. So James from Bourbon Enthusiast was telling
so
me
good.
how we were at a bullet tasting and barrel pick, and the Dickel rep came all the way up from Nashville, or from from Tennessee. I don't know if they're in Nashville or not, but from Tennessee, came all the way up from Tennessee, met us at the Bullet Distillery, and we chose a 17-year Dickel.
Damn.
That was freaking really phenomenal. I think I've got a 15-year, maybe even older back there that you can try, and then you can try my Rise and stuff. Yeah. What do we think on this nose? I think the nose is outstanding.
I've been drinking it. Sorry.
I get a little bit of an apple on the nose.
I get orchard. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Orchard. There's definitely a sweetness and almost like a fruity sweetness to it. I haven't tasted it yet. Have you already tasted it?
I have, yeah.
And you tasted it? What do you guys get?
I get like a strawberry red vine.
I get interesting.
I'm such a texture person.
It doesn't seem
And the texture mouth
super
feels
viscous
great.
to me.
Really?
It's average.
Yeah. A little above average, I feel. A little above
Well,
average.
and it may. I mean, you're allowed
For
to
me.
feel. You're allowed to feel that.
Berries and cream.
Berries
Berries and cream.
Did you say berries?
Tyler, he hasn't done that in a while.
Anytime he gets the opportunity, he does it. Though.
Yeah.
This isn't my favorite.
Really?
I'd say the one before was my favorite.
The single
man.
barrel?
The single barrel. This is not. This is good.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking that myself. I'm torn between the single barrel and this one. I think this is fantastic. I think it needs to open up a little bit more.
I think you're right on that. The viscosity, I feel like on the single barrel was better.
I just opened it yesterday.
This is not bad.
Or 2
I do
days
think
ago.
it's good, but I do think there's some flavors in here that I'm not 100% sure I like. But I'd say, like, if I had to assign a percentage to it, I'd say I really enjoy like 90% of what I'm tasting. But there's a couple of things in there that I'm just not 100% sure.
90% of the 73% in there?
Yes.
Okay.
90% of the time, I love it every time.
Sex Panther?
Yes. No, I meant like because the blends is like 73%, etc.
I don't know what it is that I'm not liking, that's not the right phrase. I don't know what it is that's not standing out to
like
me
just not, like, vibing
with
with
the
you,
rest. Yeah, but the rest of it is really good. Like the mouth feels average as far, but that's not bad. That's like it's not thin. It's got some viscosity to it, but it's not like over viscous. The single barrel we did before this, I felt like the viscosity was better, but it's almost empty. So it's opened up, and so it may have had that chance to oxidize a little bit more. This has there's a caramel there. There's a vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
There's yeah, that second that was better.
Yeah.
It's growing on me.
So when I opened this, I did a 3-way blind with my wife. And well, I knew what it was. She didn't. And I blinded it with, I tried to find similar proof points. This is 118.
Yeah.
Kind of high for a discovery.
Sure.
And I blinded it with the uncut or non-chill filtered rare breed, the 1 liter international version.
The uncircumcised rare breed.
Yeah, the uncircumcised rare breed. And then also Elijah Craig, the B522, the 120 proof. So
I
all right
love
there.
the B522.
And
I love that one.
It's so really good.
I've got like 3 of them back
Although
there.
I like the 124 better, A124 better than the B522.
Yeah, but the B522 is so solid.
It is.
I've got like 3 of them back there, and they kept coming in different kits from Sip Whiskey. So I kept getting the B522.
Oh, that's
I was
funny.
like, but I loved it. I'm like, why is this so plentiful that you're just keeping
Right.
you keep giving it to me?
I think people were a little shy-ish off of the proof point,
Yeah.
but
That's probably what it is, because it was one of the lower proof points. But it was good.
she picked the rare breed number 1.
Yeah.
That non-chill filter uncircumcised.
But that sounds like a pretty all-star cast of tastings.
Yeah. No, they're all
You can't
good
really
right
go
there.
wrong. Yeah.
Mhm. And then she put Elijah Craig 2 and that 3.
Yeah. I mean, this is good. And the more I drink it, I feel like the more it's
Oh, yeah.
acceptable on the palate.
The mouth experience is wonderful.
Yes, the mouth experience is outstanding.
The wild turkey really makes it.
I am getting the wild turkey, I think, out of it.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm definitely tasting that in there. but it's not your traditional wild turkey taste because of the other things I think involved.
This takes the nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
This nose.
The nose on this is the best I've had. You're right. Definitely for sure on that.
There's a little spice at the end that I like. There's like a little spice burn at the end.
So I think we're all in agreement that these got better as we went. However, for me, 4 and 5 are potentially interchangeable.
I'm with you.
There's things I like about one that I don't like about the other or I shouldn't say don't like about the other. There's things about one that I like better than the other. Like the nose on 5 is better than 4.
Try this again and think of a cowtail.
Cowtail?
Oh, wow.
Haven't had a cowtail in forever.
I know what you mean, because it's caramel and vanilla.
Think cowtail.
Dude, I haven't had a cowtail since like 2001.
Yeah, it's been probably 90s for me.
Well,
Yeah.
my wife and I used to volunteer at the stand over at Hilliard here, and we'd always sell cowtails, and I would eat some occasionally.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's good. That's a good
I get
comparison.
the cowtail.
Yeah.
I get, as crazy
good
as that
comparison.
sounds, I do. Because it's
it
caramel
doesn't-
and vanilla.
It's not crazy.
Well,
No,
I mean, just to think of a cowtail. is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean.
yeah. No, but it's not crazy. But the fact that you pointed out once you said it, that's actually pretty reasonable on a descriptor. That's good. This has grown on me.
I still think I like 8 better than the 11. I think I do.
Well, you can go taste it real quick and tell me.
You have
Oh
an 8?
no, you didn't bring
I didn't bring
you
the
didn't
8.
bring the 8. You
The
fucker.
8 is the one that they finished in.
Hey,
so they
Brett,
did.
he didn't fucking bring the 8.
It was planned, but I planned to not bring it. No,
Yeah, that was the plan. Is he planned not to bring it?
the 8 is actually they do a maker's mark where they finish it with staves.
You know what we need to do is we need to just do a Discovery Series Bardstown by itself.
Just the discovery.
Yeah, do that in a few weeks. We've
Yeah.
got so many things coming up. We've got what do we have? We have High West,
Next week
Coming
on
up.
Tuesday we have John Waddell.
John Waddell from
Peerless.
Peerless. We've got him
Kentucky
coming on. We've
Peerless.
got High West coming up, I think, the week after. I think High West is on the Monday of the barrel pick with Middle West and the
Yeah.
barrel pick with Old Forester.
Oh,
I think
shit.
so I think that's a pretty full last week.
June 3rd we have Frey Ranch.
I know. I'm so.
Colby and Ashley Frey will be
Yeah.
on from Frey Ranch.
And
That's
are
awesome.
they sending you samples?
They're sending me samples.
Okay.
Yes.
And you
Love
guys,
that.
I'll tell you, man.
Frey Ranch is in my top
No,
5.
no,
right
what I
now.
was going to say is we're on season 5 of our podcast,
I think so.
and
We've had Roger.
in the year and maybe just a year that you've been part of the podcast, you've done
Way more than I have.
1,000% more than what Tyler's ever done.
I'm just a people person.
50% more than I've done.
Do you want to know when I met John and like we're friends now and shit?
Yeah, it's like a
when I
month
went
ago.
down for the
Yeah.
toasted barrel
Yeah.
release. Now we know the
but my
code
point
to get into
is
the back.
you remember Tyler was what is it in your cup holder? Is that did you bring that?
I brought a sample so I can take my wife a wild turkey 12
Oh,
sample
okay.
home.
I have a freaking.
I'm not
shit
taking
ton.
your samples.
I don't give a shit. You took my sample before.
I like having those on hand to give to
You
people.
took my
Hey,
sample of
did
my
you want
Lux
to try
Row.
this while we're podcasting?
What is that?
This is my makeshift LE 4 Roses.
Yeah, let's do it real quick.
I want you guys to try.
Four Roses.
I've had it.
I'm gonna.
Is there a clean? I think there might be one clean glass. Are there two
So
clean glasses over there?
I took 4 of my single barrel
These look clean.
4 Roses recipes.
Mine. No, there's water in the bottom of that.
Oh,
My favorite 4 recipes.
my hands are just
I
really
have
oily,
a-
so mine look way worse.
Yours do look.
Mine always
disgusting.
look so bad. My hands are so oily.
I'm gonna
I
just
have
say this.
OBSV in there, OESK, OBSO, and then I had the,
OBSO is so fucking good.
so the one I had. So I did 3 parts the same amount, 6 CLs, and then I did 1 4CL. And the 4CL is the mint one. It's the OBSF.
That's the one I'm least favorite.
so
of.
yeah.
JD, you're like a wizard over
He's
here,
the
man.
fucking mad scientist. I've said that before.
I mean, you're kind of like Gandalf with his white beard.
He's the mad scientist.
I mean, I'll keep my comments about this to myself, but I think I'm going to make it again.
Hey, if we do our reel with Manscaped, if we could get all gray hair, that would be hilarious. Would that not be funny as shit?
I know I have a lot of gray.
You do, and
You're younger than me too. You're the youngest one here.
I do too. You
I just don't
are
have hair.
You have more gray than I do, and you're younger than I am. But you've had some stress.
He's the youngest.
More kids.
You've had some stress.
Yeah.
More kids. I've been through a divorce.
How many kids do you have?
I have, well, total 6.
No, what?
The fuck?
Two are mine from
that he knows of. That he knows of.
Some
two
for
are
you.
from
Some for you,
previous.
buddy.
I appreciate it. 2 from a previous marriage.
You appreciate that he saved you some of your
Yeah,
own
I've
samples.
I
got-
have
small
the
pour.
bottles to make this.
I know, but still, it was funny.
So yeah, I think it turned out awesome. I really
All right.
do.
Well, let's taste this real quick because we gotta wrap.
You got
it
to
up.
wrap him up.
I've got to wrap him up, but I've got to wrap this
And
up.
then
too.
he's got to wrap it up. No.
And then I'm going to wrap it up with Trina this evening. I don't need to wrap it up. I've had a vasectomy. There's no wrapping. There's no wrapping.
Nice.
The fucking nose on this is phenomenal.
Yeah. fantastic.
What do you think?
The nose is phenomenal.
I just went right in. I get none of the mint you're talking about.
No.
Well, no, but that's the recipe I use. So
Right.
I
JD,
do
master
like-
fucking blender over here.
I like the mint. I sent a sample of this to
I
John.
get the mint. I get the mint.
I'm hoping John tries this before we have him on.
I get the mint in the sense that it's clean. You know, like when you
Yeah.
brush your
No,
teeth,
no, that's
and you're like, you're taking
No,
a big breath, and it's clean.
That's a great description.
Are you
Yeah.
fucking with
No,
me?
I'm being
Okay.
dead serious. What the fuck?
I'm kidding. I'm like, you fucking with me? No.
I get what you're saying, but I get the mint, and that's a good descriptor
It's
for
clean,
it.
yeah.
It's a clean mint.
I figured it was fitting if I came up with the idea on
JD,
the podcast.
what
We should
a
have it on
great
here.
fucking blend, dude.
And I was thinking, the 4 of us, we
Buy the
could
bottles?
bring our own favorite recipe and make our own LE for a bottle kill episode.
That's a lot of fucking bourbon.
Well,
I was thinking we just do our own recipe.
is it though? It's like 200 milliliters
For a bottle kill?
for a 750 milliliter. It's like 200 milliliters.
You just did math.
I did math.
Damn.
This is very good,
hey,
JD.
That would be 800 milliliters. That's
But-
50 milliliters over.
Well, we got to take 150 less.
Yes. Well, you got to taste
But
it.
it'd be fun for a bottle kill episode if,
Yeah.
you know.
You do yours. Guess what I've got? A whole bunch
shitload
of Four Roses.
I've seen the cart.
There's a
Well, but
Well,
that's
it's
not
like a
that.
warehouse.
No,
What are you
no,
talking
no.
about?
No, but I've got the Four Roses,
tasting kit, like all the
Tasting
different
kit.
recipes.
Yeah, you
and they're all like 104 proof or something like that.
you have a second kit.
Yeah, I've got a second one.
Because
Yeah.
Lorenzo has one. He hasn't opened it yet. We're supposed to do
I
it.
bought 2 kits.
Okay.
When I bought my first Bardstown Bourbon Company Origin Series Bottled and Bond,
Oh, nice.
they had my second Four Roses tasting kit there. I bought that as a backup.
I was going to bring my Steve Nally Legacy Bardstown, but I'd rather you guys come over and have it with me at my house.
Brett
I would love to come see the place.
and I did the Four Roses
fake grass?
taste
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
And once I get my basement done, because like I want to make my my
How,
man
how is
space.
your basement doing, by the way?
I haven't done shit in a while, but I'm going to work on it this weekend.
But like, is all the stuff
Structurally done.
structurally is finished?
Done.
Do you need
So-
help?
Right,
it's
that's
just
what I
time
keep
of it.
asking him, but
so I'm
he's-
going to start framing this weekend, I think, and then I'll go from there. Once I start framing, and so part of it has to do with like the
Do
staircase.
you need my powder actuated?
I will. Yes.
Well, let me know because
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got it.
Yeah, I will need.
I've got a flux capacitor.
Oh, perfect.
That's, if
Go
you
back
need,
in
If
time.
you need to fix anything you made mistakes in, you can go back in time.
Perfect.
With the flux
fuck.
capacitor. It's
I'm missing a DeLorean.
You don't need it if you've got the flux capacitor.
That is true.
Anything gets you 88 miles per hour, you're fine.
Ford Splash.
It doesn't matter. Floor
Dude,
effect.
I knew a guy that had a Splash
effects.
Ranger, and he had a big like Orca like airbrushed on the back. It was like the Splash.
Every classmate had a Ford Splash when I was in
That
high
was a
school.
Ford Splash was the shit
That's
back in the
hilarious.
day. It was a Ford Ranger.
Hey,
essentially.
real quick, let's
Did
finish
you like
up.
the
Let's
Four
wrap him up.
Roses LE?
No, I
Yes,
didn't.
it's amazing.
It is. It's better than anything we've had tonight, which is insane. Because everything we've had tonight has been good.
Agree.
And
So-
I just combined my single barrels.
Not counting his fucking mad scientist bullshit. Let's rate these. I'm going to say from worst to best. That's how I'm rating these.
Okay.
Worst to best, the rye, the high rye bourbon, the Origin Series Bottled and Bond. So those are my 5, 4, and 3. And then I will say Discovery 11 is my 2, and then my 1 is Captain Clark.
I'm going to piggyback on that. I'm going to agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That single barrel is a lot better than
really
I remember
good.
it.
It's really good.
I'm really glad I bought 2.
Okay, so real quick, I'll do mine.
Oh, do you want to know how much that cost, a single barrel?
Yes,
$70.
that's a deal.
That's like a
That's
sore
a killer
penis.
deal.
That's like a sore
Can't beat it.
penis, man. It's hard to beat. Hard to
So
beat.
I'm going to say rye and white label. I'm going to tie those.
Okay.
Really?
Yes, I really like that rye.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
But you like rye better.
Well,
than
I'm
I
a
do,
rye
so-
guy.
Maybe
too.
maybe I'm in the mood for rye, but I'm going to put those in a tie.
Yeah.
Probably go for whatever's cheaper. White label was like $10 cheaper.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Black Label Origin Series next, then Captain Clark single barrel. It was good, but the Series 11 it just takes cake
You've
for me.
been fucking having a crush on that Discovery
I know.
Series 11 for a long time.
I've got one in my cart on 2 different like online.
Do you remember
I'm trying to get like free shipping, and I found that.
Remember when we did the experience?
Yeah,
I
that
drank.
was so
I
much
drank
fun.
all mine, right? And she was like, "You can take your glass out and walk around the shop." I'm like, "I
like,
drank
shit.
mine. Can I get a refill?"
Yeah,
Came
I got the
over.
best picture of Jeff
Hey.
and I. Jeff and I are in like our like goggles and lab
Yes.
coats.
That's a good picture.
It is.
The best part of that experience, minus the bourbon, was the glasses they gave us.
Yeah,
That is my favorite.
made me feel like
Whiskey-
high school.
whiskey sipping
Guess
glass.
what?
We're getting those.
Yes, we're getting those.
We should sell those online for our.
They're called Bourbon Trail glasses, is what they're called.
Really?
Yes,
No.
they're on their way. They were shipped today.
I want to buy several of them.
They're going to be on the website soon.
I'm not paying retail.
No,
Kidding.
you're going to pay in sexual favors.
Kind of disappointed you didn't try that.
Fucking man.
We drank that last
Listen,
time.
I've been out of town since almost last time. We're
Yeah.
recording on a Thursday. That's not normal for us.
I aged that shit.
We've been 10 days
Gandalf.
since we have published an episode,
It's been a while.
and it's going to publish on a Friday. That's not normal for us.
Hope we have the viewers or listeners.
No one views what we're saying. They
Downloads.
listen. They listen. No, we've been doing fine. The Apple podcast thing has really fucked us. We went from 10,000 downloads a month last month to 7,000 this month.
So it's really hurting everybody.
Yeah, it's hurting everybody though. It's insane. It's stupid the way they do it, because if you don't have it set for download, then you stream it and you don't get credit for it.
Well, let's mention it again. If you don't have it set,
Yes.
please download.
Go into your
Yes.
settings of the podcast for us. Switch it to download. If it's not already set it to download. Automatic download each episode. That will help us out. That'll help us get things like Manscaped 20% off using the code Bourbon Hunters.
I don't listen to myself, but I still download every
Yeah,
episode.
no,
Yeah,
and you
appreciate
should.
that, sir.
And we appreciate that if you do that. If you don't listen to every episode,
It's just weird listening to
download
me.
every episode regardless.
It's really weird listening to myself.
No, it's not. I love listening to you.
Well, I'm not yourself.
No, but
Yeah,
I-
you sound the same to me. I
Listen,
sound
it took me a
different.
minute to get used to listening to myself, but I'm fine with it now. Whatever. I don't care. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. It's been an hour and a half. We went 20 minutes past what I expected. But keep an eye out on our Instagram. We've got some Manscaped reels that are going to be,
phenomenal.
I think so, phenomenal. I'm directing them, so they will be phenomenal.
Director and producer.
My
And
balls
producer,
are going to love it.
And starring.
Say it right.
Starring, producer, director, all that shit. So keep an eye out on Instagram. We're going to have some reels coming up. Manscaped, I can't say this enough. We need at least 8 people to use the code Bourbon Hunters when they buy from Manscaped. There's tons of shit. It doesn't have to be a trimmer. It can be a fucking ball toner, ball revitalizer. It can be ball deodorant, whatever the hell you... There's a lot of ball stuff.
Your
A lot of-
significant other will love your balls.
They will love your balls. Lots of ball stuff.
If you like your balls being worshipped,
I like your balls being worshipped.
I do too. I like your balls being worshipped.
Thank you.
They should tonight, right?
Yeah, they should. My balls are going to be worshipped.
Brett,
this
are your
evening.
balls worshipped?
Oh, absolutely.
So let's get that. Let's get on manscaped.com. Promo code Bourbon Hunters. Do it today. Please help us out. We love it. Anyway, we'll see you next week. Talk to you guys. Thank you for joining us on yet another hunt for great bourbon. Please give us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening. But if you can't, leave some constructive criticism in the review so that we can get better at improving our show. Good reviews help us bring better guests on for your listening pleasure, not mine. But until then, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.